I'm Becky Mungie. So far in the series, we have seen how our branches originate and fund loans, and how the corporate division sells the funded loans to investors. Now, all responsibility for those loans shifts to our servicing division. Servicing a loan involves a lot more than just collecting monthly payments. It encompasses a broad range of responsibilities and duties that touch not only our borrowers, but our investors, real estate agents, government agencies, even eBay. If it sounds like it might take a lot of people to service loans, you're right. Approximately 20% of Option One associates work in the servicing division. As of July 2003, Option One has 2 servicing centers, one on the East Coast in Jacksonville, Florida, and one on the West Coast in Irvine, California. Even though the servicing centers are located on opposite sides of the country, they are in constant communication.
Did you know that Option One also subservices loans? A subserviced loan is a loan originated by another lender who pays us a fee to handle the servicing duties for them.
Option One servicing is a complicated operation that is made up of many different groups. They can be broken into 3 major categories: borrower and investor relations, collections, and minimizing loss. The first group of associates we'll be talking about are the primary point of contact for all our customers. They handle all the incoming calls from borrowers and respond to investor inquiries. Let's take a look at borrower and investor relations. Everything starts with the monthly loan payment. Borrowers make their payments in many different ways: by mail, Western Union wires, the internet, phone, or they may leave a check in our drop box. Our associates must receive, sort, and identify all these different payments and ensure they are posted to the correct account in a timely manner. Once a payment is posted, we wire the investor's portion to their account.
Option One Customer Service is Paris. May I have the account number or loan number that you're calling on, please?
Borrowers usually call in for general questions such as when their payments are due, why their payments change, whether they increase or decrease.
If they have questions regarding a payoff, if they have questions regarding refinancing, if they have questions regarding anything on their loan, we can answer it.
We have the customer's best interest in mind.
Every person is different, every question is different.
So it's important that we give them a good experience with us. So when they call, we want them to feel important.
Other associates ensure the borrower's taxes and insurance are paid, that the rate of their ARM loans are correctly adjusted, and that the borrower's phone numbers and addresses are up to date. These teams are the first line of communication for our borrowers and our investors.
Did you know that Option One's customer service associates answer roughly 1,500 customer calls a day? That's 7,500 calls a week and 390,000 calls a year.
In any given month, 10% of the loans that we service fall delinquent and are brought to collections. That might sound like a lot, but it means that 90% of our loans are paid on time. Collectors work in 2 specialized units. One contacts borrowers less than 31 days late. The other handles delinquencies of greater length. Both are responsible for contacting delinquent borrowers and working with them to bring their payments current.
We're calling customers on a daily basis to try and collect their payments.
You have to sometimes use creativity on how you'll be able to collect the money from them.
To prevent the loans from going further delinquent.
There are some people who just have wrong priorities.
With those type of customers, you're not able to gain a resolution to the problem, and you're likely to talk to them the next day about the same thing.
If a loan remains delinquent for more than 30 days, collections associates explore payment plans and other alternatives to help the borrower bring the loan current.
A lot of people, if they fall behind 2 or more payments, they can't catch up right away.
We would recommend that they go see maybe a credit counseling agency to try and get some help in lowering their other creditors' obligations that they have to pay to them.
They may have cash value in their life insurance, family members.
They may have to sell a vehicle, they may have to take a loan from their 401k or retirement plan.
Sometimes the social services have some places where they refer people, who can get assistance, maybe one payment or two payments, but anything can help.
So we're not only making recommendations based on their personal situation, but we do offer a payment plan if they're able to qualify.
Did you know that collections associates work on Saturdays? In order to reach borrowers who may not be home during normal working hours, collections associates are on staggered shifts, including Saturdays. It also helps to have two locations that are on opposite sides of the country. Jacksonville handles all the East Coast calls, and Irvine takes the West Coast. We split the remaining states depending on time zones.
So far, we have seen how Option One Servicing takes care of our customers' inquiries. We have also learned about collections and how they help our borrowers bring their delinquent accounts current. Next, we will find out what happens if a borrower can't pay their bills. We will see how Option One tries to minimize our losses. When the borrower cannot or will not make their payments, we must repossess the property. This process is known as foreclosure. Option One works hard to help our borrowers retain their homes. It is always best to avoid foreclosure proceedings whenever possible. In those unfortunate circumstances where foreclosure does take place, we must focus on our duty to our investors.
Our primary objective is to minimize loss by avoiding foreclosure. If we go all the way through and we do foreclose on a property, it means ramifications for the borrower. It has adverse consequences to their credit rating for the next 7 to 10 years. More devastating than a bankruptcy. For Option One's perspective, we take a loss on a property. It's our job to educate these borrowers that yes, there are options available. Some of those potential options may include putting them on an extended repayment plan, working a pre-foreclosure sale, or sometimes it's called a short sale. We do have modification programs that are now available. When all other avenues have been exhausted, one of our last recourses is to go ahead and go through the foreclosure process and then liquidate the asset.
When we sell a property so that the debt can be cleared, it is referred to as liquidating the asset. In order to sell the property, it must be vacant. If the property is occupied, Option One begins legal proceedings to evict the occupants. Once the property is vacant, a local real estate agent secures it and lists it for sale. Option One lists all our foreclosures on eBay.
eBay Real Estate is real-time email negotiations in a paperless environment through a database called the Offer Management System. We sell foreclosed properties in the quickest way possible because foreclosure in and of itself is a loss to the company. Our goal is to market and sell that property in 90 days or less to help reduce those losses overall. Each file is costing us about $40 a day. So the sooner we liquidate that asset, the better it is for the company as a whole.
Once the property is liquidated, we issue checks to any involved parties. These could include investors, insurance companies, or real estate agents. The title is transferred to the new owners, and the property is taken off our books.
Did you know that of all of our loans, less than 4% go into foreclosure?
Today we have given you an overview of what our servicing division does, how they interact with our customers, how they work with delinquent borrowers to keep them current, and how they try to protect the investors who make home loans possible. So how do we compare to others in the servicing industry? Simply put, we are the best. Every year, Option One receives the highest possible ratings from independent agencies. Thanks for joining me on our overview of the servicing division.